Let me paint a picture for you. It's approximately 11:15 in the morning. First take is on my television. I'm half paying attention because honestly, the first segment was kind of boring. And then a graphic pops up on screen that says breaking news and the words Lakers in discussions to acquire Jordan Poole appear underneath it. And before I can even process what I'm reading, before I can even form an opinion on whether this is a good idea or a terrible one, the camera cuts to Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins, who are already going at it like two prize-fighters in the 12th round of a championship bout. No warm-up, no pleasantries, no, let's discuss this calmly and rationally. They went from 0 to 100 in approximately half a second. And what followed was 20 minutes of the most heated, most passionate, most personal debate I have ever witnessed on that show about whether Jordan Poole to the Los Angeles Lakers is the move that saves the franchise or the move that buries it. And I need to break the whole thing down for you because both men made arguments that genuinely changed the way I think about this potential transaction. Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick before we get into everything, that like button is literally what determines if this reaches hundreds or thousands of fans. Takes 1 second, but makes a huge impact on the channel's growth. Just smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do, but honestly the biggest way to support this content. Every single like pushes this further, so hit it now. Stephen A. fired first, and he came in swinging. He was already on his feet when the graphic appeared, and he pointed directly at the camera and said, "This is exactly what the Los Angeles Lakers need. Exactly. Jordan Poole to the Lakers is the move that gives LeBron James what he's been missing for the last 2 years, which is a guard who can create his own shot and score in bunches when the offense stalls. LeBron is 41 years old. Austin Reeves is hurt. Luka is dealing with his situation. This team needs scoring. This team needs shot creation. This team needs somebody who can get a bucket when nobody else can. And love him or hate him, Jordan Poole can do that. And Stephen A. was passionate about this. He was animated. He was pacing. He was doing the full Stephen A. performance because he genuinely believed in what he was saying. Perk's response was immediate, explosive, and scathing. He stood up from his chair. He actually stood up, and he said, "Stephen A., have you watched Jordan Poole play basketball in the last 2 years? Have you actually sat down and watched the film? Because if you had, you would know that Jordan Poole is one of the most undisciplined, one of the most selfish, one of the most defensively inept players in the NBA. And you want to put that next to LeBron James, a man who demands accountability, a man who demands effort, a man who has been known his entire career for being frustrated with teammates who don't play the right way. LeBron is going to eat Jordan Poole alive. He's going to hate playing with him, and this move is going to blow up in the Lakers' faces before the season even starts." Now, I have to be transparent about where my head was when this debate started. My initial reaction to the news was skepticism, heavy skepticism, because the Lakers' problems right now go beyond just scoring. Their depth is terrible, their defense has been inconsistent, their role players haven't performed when the stars are out. Simply adding scoring without addressing the defensive and depth issues feels like putting a fresh coat of paint on a house with a crumbling foundation. But as Stephen A. continued to build his case, I started to see an angle I hadn't considered. Stephen A.'s second major argument centered on what Poole specifically does for LeBron James, and it was actually quite sophisticated basketball analysis. He said LeBron's game at 41 is built on playmaking. His greatest asset isn't scoring 35 a game anymore. It's reading the defense, finding the open man, and making the perfect pass. But for LeBron's playmaking to be effective, he needs players around him who can convert the opportunities he creates. He needs shooters who can knock down open threes. He needs cutters who can finish at the rim. And he needs at least one other player on the floor who can handle the ball and create offense independently so that LeBron doesn't have to do it every single possession. And that last point is where Poole fits. Because the Lakers' biggest problem when LeBron is on the floor isn't that LeBron can't create, it's that nobody else can. When LeBron draws a double team and kicks it out, too often the ball goes to a player who can't create his own shot and ends up taking a bad look. Poole gives the Lakers a release valve, someone LeBron can kick it, to knowing that guy can make something happen with the ball, someone who can run pick and roll independently when LeBron needs a breather on offense, someone who can get hot from three and keep the defense honest. That dimension of scoring creation alongside LeBron is something the Lakers have been missing, and Poole provides it. Perk came back with a counter that focused on the defensive implications, and it was devastating. He said the Lakers' identity under their coaching staff is supposed to be defense. That's how they won the championship in 2020. That's how they've been competitive this season despite all the injuries. The defense has been the backbone, and Jordan Poole destroys that backbone. He said when you put Poole on the floor, opposing teams are going to attack him every single possession. They're going to run pick and rolls with Poole's man as the ball handler because they know Poole can't fight through screens. They're going to post smaller guards up on Poole because they know he can't body up defensively. They're going to run Poole off the three-point line on backdoor cuts because they know he doesn't have the awareness to stay connected to his man off ball. And every single one of those defensive breakdowns creates an easy bucket for the opponent that negates whatever scoring Poole provides on the other end. Perk said it's a net zero at best. Whatever Poole gives you on offense, he takes away on defense. And Perk brought up a stat that really hit me. He said the Lakers this season are minus 25 per 100 possessions in 500 possessions when LeBron, Luka, and Reeves are all off the floor. The depth is already terrible. The supporting cast already can't hold up when the stars sit, and adding Poole doesn't fix the depth problem because Poole's minutes on the floor without LeBron or Luka would be defensive disasters. The bench units would hemorrhage points, the lead would evaporate, and the Lakers would be right back where they started, except now they've invested resources in a player who made the problem worse. Stephen A fired back with the transition game argument, and this one I thought was interesting. He said LeBron James in transition is still one of the most dangerous things in basketball. When LeBron gets the ball on a fast break, defenders retreat, they panic, they make mistakes, and the key to maximizing LeBron's transition game is having guys who run the floor with him, guys who fill the lanes, guys who can receive outlet passes and finish in the open court. And Jordan Poole is elite in transition. He runs, he sprints, he gets ahead of the defense. He finishes at the rim or pulls up for threes in transition with confidence. LeBron pushing the ball up the court with Poole filling the wing is a nightmare for opposing defenses. It's free points, easy baskets, and in a league where transition efficiency is the highest efficiency offense available, maximizing your transition opportunities is a strategic advantage. But Perk responded with what I thought was the most emotionally resonant argument of the entire debate. He said the Lakers' problem isn't a lack of individual talent, it's a lack of organizational competence. He said Rob Pelinka has failed to develop a single rotation caliber player from the margins in 4 years. Not an undrafted find, not a second-round gem, not a G League success story, nothing, zero. And instead of addressing that fundamental organizational failure, the Lakers are looking at Jordan Poole as a band-aid, as a shortcut, as a way to paper over the deeper problem that the front office can't identify and develop talent the way Boston can, the way Oklahoma City can, the way even mid-tier organizations can. And Perk said adding Poole doesn't fix the Lakers' problems, it just creates the illusion of fixing them while the real issues continue to fester underneath. And honestly, that argument shook me, because Perk is right about the organizational issues. The Lakers have not gotten a single meaningful rotation contributor from the developmental pipeline in years. Max Christie was the last one, and that was almost 4 years ago. Boston turns cast-offs into contributors. Oklahoma City develops second-round picks into starters. The Lakers can't do either, and bringing in Poole, while it might provide a short-term scoring boost, doesn't address that underlying dysfunction. Molly had to intervene 3 separate times during this debate because both men were literally shouting over each other. At one point, Stephen A was standing up making a point about Poole's clutch scoring ability, and Perk was simultaneously standing up making a point about Poole's defensive rating, and they were both speaking at full volume at the same time, and nobody could understand a word either of them was saying. Molly finally got control by saying, "Gentlemen, I need you to sit down. Both of you, right now." And they did, reluctantly, still glaring at each other. My personal take after watching this entire debate, I lean toward Perk's side on this one, but not for the reasons he primarily argued. I think the defensive concerns are legitimate, but manageable in limited minutes. I think the culture fit is a risk, but not a deal breaker if the coaching staff handles it right. What concerns me most is the opportunity cost. Every dollar and every asset the Lakers spend on Poole is a dollar, and an asset they can't spend on addressing the deeper roster construction issues that Perk correctly identified. The Lakers don't need another microwave scorer. They need organizational competence. They need player development. They need depth that's built through scouting and development, not through acquiring other teams' cast-offs. And Poole, while talented, is the latest in a long line of moves that treat symptoms while ignoring the disease. But I will say this, if LeBron wants Poole, if LeBron believes Poole can help him make one more run, if LeBron looks at the front office and says, "Get me that guy," then you get him, because LeBron has earned that right. And maybe, just maybe, playing alongside the greatest player ever will bring out the best in Jordan Poole the same way it did for every other player who's shared the floor with LeBron James. Lakers fans, where do you stand? Stephen A. or Perk? Let me know in the comments and make sure you subscribe.